Hello everyone, welcome back to my discussion on visual analytics using Power BI. So let's continue discussion of some new topics that I have been lined up for today's session. So today I'm going to talk about number of topics, like starting with edit interactions, and I'll talk about drill down, drill through. I will also discuss about the bookmark, selection pane, how we can use the slicers, how we can synchronize the slicers, how to work with buttons, how to work with dashboard images, how we can use an image, how we can create an image, and we can use that particular image as a part of a report. I will also discuss about how we can use buttons in our report, and then we can just conclude the discussions. To start with, the first topic that I'm going to take up for today's session is edit interactions. Now, what is edit interaction? Edit interaction is an option in Power BI which allows us to manipulate the behavior of each of the visuals in a dashboard or in a report. We can edit the behavior the way each of the report interacts with each other. Now, for example, suppose let me insert a slicer in this particular report. So what I can do, I can just shift these cards a bit. So I was working on this particular report from our last few discussions. Now I'll continue to work on this particular report. So what I want, the first topic that I'm talking about is edit interaction. Now this edit interaction actually allows us to edit the way, manipulate the behavior of each of the actions of each of the visuals. Now for example, let me insert a slicer over here. So what I can do, I can click outside this value and I can insert a slicer. Let me place this slicer over here. And let me format this. And what I can do, I can bring a country field onto this particular slicer, and you can see there are some country values over here. Now I can give a format to this particular slicer. I can just assign a border and a shadow, and you can see there are certain countries values which are there in this particular slicer. Now what I want, if I select any member of this particular slicer, any country name, I want this particular cards to remain static. Normally what will happen, if I select any country like Bosnia, you can see all the charts in this particular dashboard, they are changing their value. If I select Austria, the charts are changing their values. Now what I want, if I select any countries from here, I want this particular values in the card, the 4 cards that has been placed in the top of the dashboard remains to be same. The value that are showing in this particular cards remains to be same. So how we can achieve this kind of scenario, where if I select any values from the slicer, the cards remain unchanged. For this, what we can do, we can go to this view option, and there is a not in the view option, in the format option. If I select the slicer and go to the format option, in the extreme left hand side, we have an option over here called edit interaction. Now the definition states it changes how the visual interact when the data points are selected. Now means the data points over here, when I say the data points are this filter or the slicer member. Now what I can do, if I click on this particular edit interaction, now if I minimize, if I resize this particular chart, you can see there are certain icons that has been created for each of the cards. Not only for each of the cards, but also for each of the visuals in the dashboard. You can see for the bar graph I have one, for the text table I have one, for this particular area chart I have an icon. So these are the icons which will allow us to edit the interaction, how the values changes, how that particular visual should react on selection of certain data. Now what I want, if I select any country from here, the card value should remain same. For that, what I have to do, from these icons, you can see there is one icon over here with a circle mark and with a cut or the line crossed from that particular circle. If I hover my mouse on this particular icon, it's showing us none. Means if I select this icon, if I enable this particular icon from all the 4 chart, and now if I select any country from the slicer like Austria, you can see the other charts are changing in the dashboard, but the card value remains to be unchanged. Now you can see that if I select the next values in this particular slicer, the card's value remains unchanged. So this is how we can use the edit interaction. Now for this particular, now if I do again uncheck the value, if I select this particular chart now, and if I select any country from here, then this card value will again change, because this edit interaction option has been only be enabled for this slicer value, not for the other visuals. Now coming to this particular chart, now again if I select this particular slicer value, and now if I come to this bar chart which shows the total sales and the profit by state, we can see there is one more icon just beside the none value. That particular icon actually contains a bar graph with a filter icon. So this is a filter. Now if I enable this icon, if I click on this particular icon over here, I can use this particular chart as a filter. If I click on California, you can see that I can use this particular chart as a filter. So this is how we can use the edit interaction option to change the behavior of each of the charts that we have in the dashboard. Now I can remove this edit interaction option again if I again click on this particular option, and you can resize this particular charts. Now it's a very handy option, you can use it as per your convenience. Now the next topic that I'm going to talk about is a drill through. Now it's a very important interview question, guys, that what is the difference between drill through and drill down. Now these options are basically used for toggling between the reports. This is the best answer you can give. Now if I wanted to show this to approach, I have to use certain examples that will make your things more clear as how we can toggle between the reports by using the drill through option, and also we can use the drill down option to work with multiple reports. Now to understand the difference, let me show you two very important examples based on drill down and drill through. The first example that I'm going to show you is all about drill through. Now drill through option allows us to, as I said earlier, to toggle between the various reports. Now let me create a report in this particular dashboard. So what I can do, I can just align this particular, I can just reshape this particular chart over here. And what I can do, I can use a donut chart over here. And for this particular donut chart, what I can do, I can use the product name in the legend, and I can use the profit from the important measure table. So I have the total profit measure which I can bring and update the values over here in this particular field. Now let me format this particular donut chart before I start using the drill through option. Now for that, let me go to the format, and we can remove the legends from here to make this chart more interactive. Let me resize it a bit, and let me make this pie chart a bit bigger. Now what I want, let me add a border and a shadow to it, and instead of the data labels which are in terms of numerical value, let me use the category. Now I have the product name over here, and I have created a donut chart. Now this is an example. However, we have other options by which we can use another chart to show our values. So generally donut chart, we don't use donut chart for showing this particular so many values over here, but if we have, for an example, it's good, I can show you. We can either use a tree map for this kind of display. Now what I can do, now what I want, the requirement is I want to know the profit associated with each of the product in this particular donut chart in terms of the country. So how much profit I have earned for each of the product in terms of country, from different country where the product has been sold. Now what I can do, the requirement is that if I click on any one of the product name from this donut chart, I should be taken to another chart which will show me the profit that I have earned in terms of country. So let me create one more chart over here, and let me name this particular chart as drill through. And what I can do, I can select a card visual, and I can bring the card visual over here over my screen, and let me bring the product name over here. And let me do a bit of formatting with this particular card. What I can do, I can remove the category, I can add a border and a shadow, and let me make the shadow not outside this time but inside. Now let me take one more visual, and this particular visual will be in terms of the profit country wise. Now I can bring the country wise profit over here, so I can bring the country over the access value and the total profit from the value field. Now what I can see over here, I have seen the total profit measure, the total profit that I have earned. Now let me format this particular chart also. What I want the data labels, so the number of values that I have, the number of profit, the currency, the value of profit for each of the country, and I can add a border and a shadow. Let me improvise this particular chart to a shadow, and let me change the colors to a different color. Now what I have done, I have created two charts, which one shows the name of the product and the other one shows the profit as per the countries. Now what I want, the next thing what I can do, I will use this drill through option in the visualization pane just below. In this drill through option, I have a field over here which shows that add drill through fields over here. On this particular field, what I can do, I can bring the product name and I can update this product name over here. So what I have done, under the drill through option, I have added the product name over here. And now if I go back to my dashboard and if I come to this particular donut chart and suppose I want to know the profit in terms of the countries from where I have earned the profit for any particular product through the drill through options. For example, if I want to know the chain stays, this is the product over here called chain stays. I want to know the profit that I have earned in this particular product. So I can come over this particular chain stays and you can see the moment I hover my mouse on this particular chain stays, we can see there's a small message coming up that right click to drill through. So I'll do a right click over here and I'll go to drill through and you can see the name of this particular page which we have created is appearing over here in the drill through option. Now if I click on this particular option, I have been navigated to the next report, that is the chain stays, and I can see the profit that I have earned from that in terms of all the country. Again, I can click on this particular arrow in the left hand side upper corner and I can go back to my dashboard, and this time if I wanted to know the profit that I have earned in adjustable race, there's one more product over here. If I hover my mouse on this particular product, do a right click, select drill through, I'll be taken to the adjustable race and I can see the profit that I have earned over here. Again, I can click on this particular, and next time I want to know the down tube, and we can see that the profit that I have earned in terms of the down tube product. Now this is the drill through option that we can use to toggle between the reports. Now you can use other options also. Now if I come back over here and I change this particular donut chart into a tree map, I can use this particular tree map also. If I go to any of the products over here and do a right click and drill through of the chain stays, or if I go to any of the product over here, like if I go drill through to this particular option, so a crown dress, I can know the values, the profit that I have earned that particular product. Now this is a drill through. Then what is a drill down? Now let me show you an example of a drill down. So let me take a fresh page and let me rename that particular page as drill down. Now this is a very common term that we use in a reporting field, that we need to drill down our data. Drill down means going to the details of your data. Now we have a very important visual in the visualization pane in order to perform the drill down option. First let me show that particular visual. So I will be showing you two approaches by which we can do drill down. The first, you can use a matrix table. This is also a very important visual in the visualization pane. So we can just use, you can see just beside in the matrix table is available in the 5th row, 3rd from the left in the visualization pane. If I click on this particular matrix table, but this looks like a simple visuals. Now what I can do, I can bring the date column from the date table, and what I can do, I can bring the total sales into the value field. Now you can see, so let me increase the font size a bit. Now you can see the moment I have brought the date and the sales, there is a plus sign that has been associated with each of the year value. Now this is a matrix table. This is not like a text table that we have used in our dashboard. You can see there's a text table I have used. In text table, we can see that the customer names and the sales regarding that particular customer against that particular customer is listed. But in matrix table, we can see there's a hierarchy that has been created. Now if I click on this plus sign, I can see the sales in terms of quarter. Now I can further drill down to the data in terms of month. If I click on the month plus sign, I can see the sales in terms of day. So you can see there's a hierarchy that has been created in our report, which starts from the year, quarter, month, and day. And this is the step that we follow in order to perform a drill down option in our data. And matrix table provides the feature of drill down in creating a report. Now you can also use other options, like there you can see there's some icon at the top of this particular table. You can some arrow marks. If I click on the upward arrow, you can again drill up to your data. And again you can use these icons, this double arrow which is pointing downwards. You can click again, you can find the drilling. But this time the drill down option is on the whole data set, not on year wise. So January sales contains both the sales for the year 2019 and 2020. Now again I can drill up. And again I can use manually this plus sign and the minus sign to go drill down to the next level of details in our data. Now this is one option we can follow. One more option what we can do by using a visual, some visuals, and we can create a drill down option in that particular visual. For example, let me select a column chart, a bar graph. What I can do, let me expand this particular chart. Now what I have to do, what I want, I'll be using a date column again in this particular access value field, and I'll be using the profit from this particular option. Now you can see the moment I have used the date has a hierarchy, which I have already discussed earlier. Either you can remove the hierarchy or you can keep this hierarchy in order to understand the drill down option. Now what happens, I wanted to know the profit on the basis of year, quarter, month, and day. So what I have to do, I can use this particular icons that has been created above the particular visual, the double arrow pointing downwards. And if I click on this particular icon, you can see I can see the profit in terms of quarter, I can see the profit in terms of month, I can see the profit in terms of day. Now there is a slight mistake over here. The mistake is that over here the number of days is showing 35, which is actually should be 30 or 31 depending on the month. So how can I fix this kind of issues? What I have to do, I have to select this particular chart, go to format option, and in the x-axis you have to select the type option where the value is continuous. So you have to change the continuous value to categorical, and you can see that this particular thing has been fixed. Now what if I don't want to use the date field over here? I want to use some other field from this particular table. So I can come to this particular option and let me remove the date, and this time what I want, let me bring the country, let me bring the state, and let me bring the city into the access field. Now you can see I have used 3 columns over here in this particular visual. Now what I want to see the profit in terms of country, state and city. So I can again use these icons. So by default it's showing me the country, the profit in terms of country. Now if I click on this downward arrow, I can see the profit in terms of state, and again if I further click, I can see the profit in terms of city. Now the purpose of showing you this particular example was to understand the concept of drill down first, and second, how we can use a single chart for toggling in a multiple way. So we have used multiple chart within a single chart, and we are toggling between those reports using the drill down option. So you can use any chart, you can use some of the visuals in the visualization pane to create a drill down option in your data. Now the next example that I'm going to talk about is bookmark and slicer. Now what is a bookmark and what bookmark and selection pane? Now what is a bookmark and what is a selection pane? Now let me give you a brief about bookmarks. In real world, when we read a book, we keep a bookmark to save the present state of the book, and next time when the reader comes back to that particular book, he can start reading from that particular point where you have marked that particular book, that particular page or that particular chapter, you can say. So what do we do? Bookmark allows us to save or the current state of that particular book. Same way in Power BI, we use a bookmark to save the current state of a dashboard, and while presenting that particular dashboard or report, you can directly go to that particular state and you can define that particular report. Now let me create few bookmarks for you, and let us explore what are the features a bookmark provides us or presents us. Now let me take for this particular example, let me go to the dashboard option. So what I can do, I can go to my dashboard, and let me remove these filters, collapse this particular filter option, and let me remove this failed option. And for applying the bookmark and selection pane, I have to go to the view option, and in the under view menu in the extreme right hand side you can see the bookmark and the selection pane. What I can do, I can select the bookmark and the selection pane over here. Now let us see what the selection pane and the bookmark contains. The selection pane contains all the visuals that has been used in this particular dashboard. So you can see I have used 4 cards which are aligned over here, 1 slicer that is in the extreme left. Apart from the slicer, I have used a table, so this particular customer table. Apart from this, I have used 3 visuals which shows the total sales, profit in or the product name. So all total there are 9 visuals that has been used in this particular dashboard, and this is the bookmark pen that we will be using to create a bookmark. Now this particular pen bookmark option is having 2 option add and view. Now let's first create a bookmark. So for that, what I can do, I can click on add and you can see there's a first bookmark created. I can do a right click over here and you can rename this bookmark as sales view. Now this particular bookmark will show me the overall sales. That means it will capture the present state of this particular dashboard. So how to capture this present state? We can do a right click on the bookmark and you can click on this, select this particular update option. Now the second bookmark, what I want to show the sales in terms of Poland. So if I select Poland, this is the state of the dashboard where we can see for Poland country we have only two countries over here, California and Nevada, and these are the products that has been sold. Not much in terms of last year's and this year's sales. There's not much difference. And these are the card values. So let us save this particular state of the dashboard in a bookmark. So I'll again click on bookmark and this time I'll do a name this particular bookmark as Poland sales Poland. And what I can do, I can update this, I can save this particular state of the dashboard in this bookmark. So I do a right click on the bookmark and click on update. Now let me select one more bookmark, and this time what I want to select the Netherlands. And for Netherlands, I just wanted to focus on this particular tree map. I don't want to show any other visuals. So what I can do, I can select this particular tree map and I can click on this focus mode. So once I click on this focus mode, only the tree map will be visible. So I can add a bookmark and let me name this particular bookmark as sales Netherlands. And let me update this particular bookmark. So you can see I have created 3 bookmarks. Let us create another bookmark. Now I can deselect this particular Netherlands, and what I want next time, I want Italy, and for Italy I want only these 2 particular visuals, the bar graph and the tree map. So let me remove the other visuals from the report. So what I can do, I just only want these 2 reports and the cards and the slicer, and let me remove this table and this particular area chart. So to remove the table, you can come to the selection pane, and this is where we'll be using the selection pane for the first time. We can choose the selection pane to keep or remove the visuals as per the bookmark that we are creating. So what I want this particular table. There's an eye icon over here. I can select this particular eye icon, and also let me remove this particular visual, and let me create a bookmark for sales Italy. So I can double click this bookmark and I can write sales Italy. Now let us see, let me update this particular bookmark. Now let us see all these 4 bookmarks that we have created. Let us test these bookmarks. For that, what you can do, I can click on view And you can see the moment I click on view, there is a bookmark bar that has been created just below our report. And by default, it shows the first bookmark. Now if you can see in the right hand side, there's an arrow. If I click on arrow, I'll be taken to the sales Poland directly. If I click on this particular arrow, I'll be again directly taken to the another state of the bookmark where we have created a sales for the Netherlands. And again, I can click on the next bookmark and I can directly see the sales for Italy where some specific visuals are only highlighted. Now this is how we work with bookmarks. Now again, I can click on exit and I can come out of this bookmark and I can go back to the original sales view over here and I can close this particular bookmark. Now this is how we can create a bookmark in our dashboard. I repeat again, you will get the bookmark option under the view menu in the extreme right, bookmark and selection pane. And as a part of an interview point of view, what is bookmark? Bookmark is used to create or to save the current state of your report. We can use the different features of bookmark. We can use the selection pane to keep or remove a visual as per the bookmark conditions. Now this is a bookmark. This is how we can create bookmark and a selection pane. Now the next example that I'm going to talk about is a very interesting example where I'll show you how we can use an image in a report to make that report more and more interactive, or to make the report more and more to improve the look and feel of the report. Now for that, what I can do, I can take a new page and let me rename this particular page as image. Now what I want, let me create a report, two small reports over here. So I want to know the sales and the profit in terms of cities. So I can select a visual from here. So I can select a random visual, and what I can do, I can bring the cities from the region and the city and the sales from the important major. Not the cities. I guess it is best if I can work with the states. Yeah, so I bought a states over here. So let me change the color once. I hate this particular blue color actually. And let me select one more graph, and this time let me bring the state in the axis, and instead of sales I can bring the profit over the value, and I can keep this color as gray. So what I have done, I created two charts over here. Now what I want to make this particular background more colorful, or what I can do, I can make this background more and more interactive. So I want to keep these two particular chart within a frame with a different background color. So what I can do, I can open my PowerPoint and I can quickly create a background from here. So I can go over here, I can select a new page, and I can go to insert, select shapes, and what I can do, I can create a background. So let me create a background over here and quickly change the color to yellow, or let me make this particular color more gradient, and let me go to insert again and again select a shape, and let me select a black color for this. And what I can do, I can insert two shapes over here. So I can bring a shape over here and copy this shape over here quickly. And I can bring this over here. Now I have quickly created a image over here. Now let me save it. So what I can do, I can go to my browser and I can just save it in my desktop and change the format from PowerPoint to a PNG, and I can make it as an image and I can save it to my desktop in a PNG format, and I can apply these particular changes only for this one. So what I have done, I've created an image which I in my PowerPoint. And what kind of could improve this particular image? Okay. Let me save it once more. And I can close it. So you can see I can save this particular image over here. Now if I come to my PowerPoint, now if I click on this particular blank area, go to format, there is a page background option over here. Now I can click on this particular page background option, and there is an option over here called add image. If I click on this add image, I can select the image that I've created, and I can reduce the transparency to 0, and I can adjust this particular charts on this particular image. Now you can see how we can use an image to improve this particular report, to make this report more and more attractive, or you can say more interactive in terms of the report that you have created. So you can use this kind of custom images. You can create those images in a PowerPoint, and you can use those images in your report. Now you can save this particular image once more over here. Now this is where we can use an image over here. Now what if I want to add a button over here? Now I want to add an action to this particular report through buttons. What I want, the requirement is, I will be creating 3 buttons. The first button, if I click, I can only see the sales report. If I click the second button, I can only see the profit. And if I click the third button, I can only see all the reports. So for inserting button in your report, what you can do, you can go to insert and you can click on this particular button option. You can click on this button option and you can see there are a lot of options that is available in terms of having a button. You can create a left arrow, right arrow. For this particular example, I will select a blank button over here and you can see there's a blank button that has been created. Now let me make this particular button a little bigger and let me bring it over here. And in the button text, you can see the selected, if I select this particular button, there's a lot of options by which you can format this particular button. So I can add a border, I can add a shadow to this button, and I can add a text to this button. You can see there's a button text over here. I can enable this text and I can write the text as sales. And I can make this a little big. Sorry, it's a padding, right? Okay, let the padding be 4 only. This is the text size, I guess. Yeah, I can improve it to 15. Now you can see that I've created a button over here. Now let me copy this button and let me create one more button as over here called profit. And one more button, the third button, as the show all. Now what I have created 3 buttons over here. First step. Second step is to add an action to this button. When I say add an action, means if I click sales, I want to see only the sales. If I click profit, I can see the profit, and if I can show all, I can see both the reports. So how we can achieve this kind of actions? Through bookmark. So I have just discussed the concept of bookmark with you guys. I'll go to view, I'll click on bookmark and selection pen over here, and I can see the 3 buttons and the 2 reports over here. Now what I can do, I can select state sales. So when I select sales, I want only the sales report. So I can hide the profit report and I can create a bookmark as show sales. Or sales report, and I can update this particular state to this particular bookmark. Now if I come to profit, I want to show the profit only, removing the sales. So I'll again create a bookmark and I will rename it as profit report. And let me update this particular bookmark. Now if I click on show, I want to see both the report. So I'll again create a bookmark and I'll name this bookmark as all. And let me update this bookmark. Now that I've created a bookmark for all the buttons over here, let us assign these actions that we have created through bookmark to these buttons. So how can do that? We can close this bookmark selection pen and you can select the button over here, and for each button there's an action menu over here. You can enable this particular action menu, click on the drop down, and from the type you have to select bookmark, and from the bookmark you have to select, for sales you have to select sales report. Again you can go to show all, enable the action, from the type select bookmark, from the bookmark panel you can select all, And for profit, you can again enable the action, select bookmark and profit report. Now what will happen? If I select sale, you can see I can see only see the sales report. Now if I select profit, I can see only the profit report. Now if I select show all, I can see both the report. For sales, I can see the sales. For profit, I can see the profit report. For show all, I can see all the report. So this is how we assign an action and we can bring a button option in our report. This is a very interesting option, and you can use a lot of features along with a button. For example, I can give you some topics on which you can research and you can create such kind of actions. For example, what if you want to create a button which will enable the search option in your report? Now when I say search option means there will be a search bar on which if you type anything from your report related to your report, that thing will be updated. So if you click on a search button, there will be a search bar that will be enabled in your report. Now you can do a bit of explore, you can explore these kind of topics and you can just see how we can use this particular button options over here. The next example that I'm going to talk about is also a very interesting example as how we can use emoji in a report. Now emojis are very common icons that we use over a message or transmitting any message. So we can use this kind of emojis in a report also. So for that, what I can do, the purpose of that particular example is to show you how we can use a single value slider in our report. Now what is a slider? Let me show you that first. So what I can do, I can click on this plus sign and let me rename this particular page as a single value slider. Now normally what happens, let me create a blank table first. So I'll go to home, I'll click on enter data and let me create a table as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and let me load this particular table. Now you can see there's a blank table that I have created over here. This table contains a column from 1 to 5. Now if I use a slicer over here and if I bring this column over the slicer field, you can see there's a 2 value slider from both the sides. Now even if I change it to a less than equal to, there's a single slider, but I can see 2 values over here. Only one value is enabled, but I can see the other value also. What if I only want a single value? I don't want a double value over here like 1 and 5 you can see over here. For that we can use a very important concept over here called new parameter. This is a what if parameter. Now the requirement is, let me clear the screen first. Let me remove this table. The requirement is that I want to design a feedback system where if I select 1 to 5 any value, there will be an emoji for each of the values in terms of expressions. For 1 there can be a smiley, for 2 there can be, for 1 there can be an angry, the lowest feedback, or for 5 there will be a smiley emoji with a highest feedback. So for that what I can do, I can click on this new parameter and let me name this particular parameter as a feedback. And I'll keep the data type as whole number and the minimum value I'll keep it as 1 and the maximum value I'll keep it as 5. And what I can do, I can keep this option as checked for add slicer to this particular page, and I'll click OK. Now the moment I click OK, there is a feedback table that has been created, and you can see there is a single value slider over here. There is only a single value over here, and there is only one slider over here. Now what I can do, I can go to my data view, select this feedback table, and let me add a physical column over here. So I'll add a new column over here. I click on new column, and let me write a small measure. Let me create a small measure over here, or let me create a small formula over here. The formula is emoji equals to switch. I'll use a switch statement. I'll keep it as true, and I'll be using the feedback column equals to 1, and I'll create an emoji. Now to create an emoji over here, we need to press Windows plus dot. I repeat, press the window key plus the dot key. The key just beside the logical operator greater than and less than. And you can select an emoji from this particular drop down. So for 1, let me select an angry emoji. So what I can do, I can select this emoji. Now what I can do, I can copy this particular feedback, and let me create a series of feedback till 5. And let me edit this particular feedback. As for 2, I can again select an emoji as a better one. For 3, let me select an emoji a slightly different. For 4, I can select a different emoji, and for 5 I can have a more happy emoji like this. So what I have done, I created a physical column where I have used a different types of emoji for the different levels of value from the slider. So I can change this value from 1 to 4 and again 5. And now if I press enter, there's an error. Emoji 12, argument 12, okay. So I have created an emoji over here. For each of the value, there is a different expression of emoji that we can see. Now what if I want to use these emojis in my report? So what I can do, I can go back to my report, and you can see there's an emoji column that has been created. So I can edit this particular first, remove this category over here, slicer header, and I can reduce this particular slicer, and I can use a card value. And I can bring the emoji over there, and I can just edit this particular emoji. I can remove the emoji, no, the category associated with the emoji, and I can bring this card just above this particular slider. Now if I change the slider value, you can see for 1 it is different, for 2 it will be different, for 3 it will be again be different, for 4 there's a different expression. So for each of the value that is increasing, there's a different kinds of emoji that we can see. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is how we can define an emoji in our report. We can use an emoji in our report. And you can use these emojis for showing any feedback or any kind of values in a report. This is a very interesting thing that I wanted to discuss as a part of a dashboard component. So these all topics are very small in nature. These examples are very small examples that I'm discussing. But if you use these examples in a dashboard, then your dashboard will have more functionality and more interactivity compared to the data that you're trying to showcase. So this was all I decided to talk about in today's session in Power BI. So I just request you guys to explore these areas, these options that I have discussed, like drill down, drill through. These are very important concept in terms of interview also. You can use these practical examples to showcase your skills in the interview, because these are very important questions in terms of as how we can design a what if parameter, as how we can include an image, what is the difference between drill down and drill through, how are bookmarks important for dashboards. So you can use these concepts and you can use the other options, all the options in your dashboard for making your dashboards more and more interactive. So that was all for today, guys. I'll be coming up with some more interesting topic in my upcoming sessions. So tomorrow let's meet for the SQL session at 4:30, where I'll be talking about some more advanced level discussions on SQL. Till then, please stay safe and keep learning.